Today I do have some things that'll come up that we might want a yoga block for, so if you have that handy, great. I'll give suggestions either way. And that starts with how we're starting to sit. We're going to sit back on the heels, especially in the morning. Sometimes that's a little intense on quads and the deep flexion in the knees. You could sit up a little taller. So once you find this seat, try to stack shoulders and hips over one another. Gently close the eyes or just gaze low in front of you, whichever one feels best. This is more of a symmetrical way to sit rather than the cross-legged seat, which can be just minutely off balance. So at times I like to start in this way. Step into the breath, this time for practice. Breathe from the belly into the ribs, into the chest. And breathe from the chest back down into the ribs and back down into the belly. It can be really wonderful to open the mouth and give a good exhale and sigh out. Do that throughout practice as much as feels right for you. But in general today, work to breathe in and out of the nose. So just starting with that steady base, a bit of a still stacked body, the line of the breath moving up and down, and that breath coming in and out of the nose. And then as you're ready, changing to all fours, place your hands under the shoulders, knees right underneath the line of the hips. Lift your right leg up and back, and then set it down. Lift the left leg up and back. Notice the just slight changes moving from one side to the next that happen as we lift for balance. Right leg, and lower it down, and then left leg, and lower it down. Do the same with the arms. Try to keep the hips, the torso nice and strong and balanced. Lift the right arm up, and set it down. What do you have to change to lift the left arm up? Set it down. Right arm up, and down. Just these simple mapping exercises to get us going today. Set it down. And then into your cat and cow. In cow pose, pull the chest forward, eyes and tailbone up to the sky. And in cat, press down through your hands and knees around the back, drop the head. Back and forth a few times. Keep going like that. And then stretch into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, we'll lift one limb at a time like we did in all fours. So lift the right leg up, pull the knee into the chest, hover forward in plank, and shoot the legs straight back to plank pose. Go downward facing dog, and try it on the second side. Left leg high, what changes? Pull the knee into the chest, hover forward, plank. Leg shoots straight back and hold. One more time each side. Right leg up and back. Pull knee into the chest for plank. Shoot the leg straight back. Second side, lift the left leg high. Pull the knee into the chest as you hover forward. Keep your long line as you shoot the legs straight back. Okay, stay in plank, and you can use this plank feet as wide as the mat, maybe knees to the mat. Either one here to give the lift of the right hand up and then down. Left hand up, those little changes in the hips and shoulders. We're trying to balance out as much as we can. Left hand down, right arm up, and down, left arm up, and down. Full downward facing dog, lift the hips. Take a deep bend in your knees and walk your hands backwards to the feet. Hang as heavy as you can over the body like a rag doll. Sway a little bit from side to side. And slowly roll up to standing. Okay, take your slow meditative walk up to the front end of the yoga mat. Allow that mapping of the body to sort of settle in here. And we'll move into our sun salutations. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Peel the chest up for cobra. And go back to downward facing dog. Take several breaths. Inhale, look forward to your hands. Exhale, step or jump all the way up to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Exact same work a second time. Lift up, reach up. Exhale and fold. Half lift. Chaturanga Dandasana is that little hover right above the mat. And pull into cobra. Down dog. Several breaths. Look to your hands and step or jump to the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand and reach. We'll change to 2 rounds of Surya Namaskar B here. Starts with Utkatasana. Bend the knees, sit into your thighs. And then exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Here's where I sometimes hold plank, or you can continue to add in that full vinyasa. Up to you. Now, step your right foot forward. We'll come up to a high lunge. Keep the left heel up in the air, hips square. Lift the torso and lift the arms. Give it a breath here. Lower the hands down, step back to plank, and again, a hold of plank for 2 breaths, or the vinyasa flow down to the mat. Cobra. Everybody does down dog. Left foot forward into your lunge. Keep your feet hip distance apart as you rise up, arms to the sky. Hold it for a whole breath. Lower the hands, step back. And one more flow or the hold. Everyone to down dog. Look in between the hands. Step or jump to the front. Half lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Stand up. Palms to the center. Final sun salutation. One more round here. Bend the knees, sit into the thighs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Step back to plank. Lower. Cobra or even up dog introduces straight arms and legs with hips up. And then down dog. This time full warrior 1, so step the right foot forward, spin the back heel down. As you lift the torso, think hips mostly square, shoulders square to the front, arms up. Give it a full breath, press down and out through both feet, outer edge of the back foot, big toe mound of the front foot in particular. And then lower the hands, step back, hold strong in your plank, or add the flow. Second side, step the left foot through, right heel down, line up about heel to heel. As we rise up, the back hip is going to be turned back and open a little bit. We just do our best to start to square more towards the front. Lower the hands again. Step back. Feel the heat coming in through the body as you go through that last flow. Stay in downward facing dog. Next breath, look to the hands. Step or jump forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Chair pose. Stand all the way up. Bring palms to the center. Stay here or drop the hands by your side in Tadasana. Just as we had started, sitting back on the heels. Gaze low, turn your gaze in. Return breath. Nice long strand from belly, ribs, heart, chest, back down to the ribs, back down to the belly. This sort of mindful mapping and flow, breath and body together for this practice. Okay, open the eyes if they're closed. Find a point out in front of you that won't move or change. Use that to guide your balance for tree pose. Lift your right leg onto the left leg. Use the height that you want, above or below the knee. Work to point the knee out to the side, your toes down to the floor. Palms can stay together over the chest or lift up to the sky. If the hands are overhead, try Palms together, I cross at the thumbs to just give a little bit more power. And then reach, reach, reach as high as you can. Even shrug the shoulders up with you. Nicely done. Right into eagle pose here. The right knee comes forward, bend both knees a little bit. Cross the right leg over the left. And then the right arm under the left. Squeeze everything that's touching strong into the center. Release the right leg down, release the arms. Tadasana, give it a breath in and a breath out. Second side, bring the left leg for tree pose or whatever your second side is. Point the knee out to the side, the toes down. Same ask in the hands, they could stay right over the chest. If you're going up to the sky, try keeping the palms together, cross at the thumbs to give you that power to stay there. If you fall and waver, it's just like life. You try it again. Change to eagle pose. Point the left knee forward, a little bend in the right leg. Cross at the thighs, and then cross the left elbow under the right. Push the knees a little down and forward and lean the head and shoulders a little bit back to stay in that plumb line of the body. Set the left foot down, unwrap the hands. Now lift both arms way up towards the sky. Kick your right heel to your seat. One more standing balance. We cluster them all together today. Hold on to your right leg. Dancer pose. Starts with this sort of flamingo pose, straight up and down. And then hinge forward. I like to bend the standing leg. I've got the benefit of holding onto a wall today. Maybe you do too. Feel free. Lift the back leg up, up, up. Try to shoot the knee straight out and the toes straight up. And then come all the way back upright. Set 2 feet onto the ground. That breath in between to reset. Feel even weight on the feet. Both arms up to the sky, inhale. Kick the left heel to your seat now and hold on to your foot. And I didn't mention how to hold on, that's up to you, inside, outside of the foot. Just giving that attention and play to this cluster of balance poses, but how exactly is your practice? Hinge a little bit forward. Again, try to keep pointing the knee down to the floor and the foot up, up, up towards the sky. From Natarajasana, come back up, both feet to the mat. Map the line of your breath in and out of the belly, in and out of the nose. Maybe one more breath to let it exhale out through the mouth. And then we get into our lunges. Lift the arms up to the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the right foot where it is. Step the left foot back into your lunge. Add the twist here. Right hand up to the sky. Bring the hand to the inside of your foot. Spin the back heel down. Down dog lunge. Walk the hands towards the left corner of the mat. Broaden the right knee away from the right shoulder, but over the middle of your foot. Walk the hands back in just beside your foot. And then prop up, elbow to the knee. Legs should already be set for this wide-legged, side angle pose. Usually from down dog lunge, we've got our butt a little pushed back. So we're gonna tuck the tailbone more down towards the back heel here to bring us to the center. And then you've got left hand palm down overhead. Getting a little too wordy there, just breathe now. Rise all the way up to warrior two. Again, legs stay just as they are. Just lift the torso. Gaze out over your front fingertips. Can you go a tiny bit lower into the front thigh? And the cartwheel the hands down around the front foot. As you do that, pick up your back heel, lower the knee, lift the arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Be strong in the glutes so that you don't get trapped in your low back. Exhale, lower the hands down. Step it all the way forward, both feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Stand, reach the arms to the sky. Palms together, center of the chest. Inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Keep the left foot forward, step the right foot back. Feet hip distance apart. Add the twist, left arm high, right arm stays down. Take the left hand to the inside of your foot. Spin the back heel down so you've set up for those warrior two legs. But first we've got down dog lunge. Walk the hands out, more towards the right corner of the mat. And again, here the difference being that you can press down and forward through the hands, letting the hips move more back towards the long edge of the mat behind you. And then walk the hands closer in, prop up, elbow to knee, other hand to the waist. As you do that, tuck the tailbone under, give a little more push into the back leg. And then extend top arm, palm down overhead for extended side angle. Now only the angle of the upper body changes. Lift up, warrior two. Shoulders right over the hips. Both anterior hip points trying to face open to the side. Cartwheel it back down, hands on either side of the front foot. Pick up your back heel. Lower the right knee to the ground. Nice sweeping breath, arms up. Squeeze the front heel back, the back knee forward to maintain support for this lift. From here, lower the hands back down. Lift the back knee and step backwards to plank. Lower flat down to the mat. Hands back behind you, belly down, back bend series now. Lift up, 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 everything that you can. As you lower down right into the interlace of the hands behind your back. This is the progression. Of course, you could stay with the first offering. Lift up again, hands clasped. Again, a different offering, but a lot the same as you lower down. Take the hands behind your head now. Elbows out to the side. Bend your knees, feet together, knees apart, and lift again. Everything up. And lower it down. Change to child's pose. Push back. Again, soften and enjoy right here. Just take in a few breaths. And then slowly make your way to a seated position. Stretch the legs out in front of you. So here's where I'm gonna use a yoga block and I'm just gonna sit on it for most of these series of poses. So if you want some height, a yoga block, a couple of books. If you use a yoga bolster or blanket and it can be nice and even across, that works too. Staying flat on the mat works also. Just giving myself a little bit of height and lift here so that it's easier to bring that line, hips, shoulders right over each other, a little bit more ease in moving the pelvis. All right, so if our feet are flexed, straight out in front, toes, knees up to the sky, take your right foot and plant it still to the inside, so same side, right a little bit in line with the knee. Here we're just holding the front of the shin, trying to lift ourselves up. Okay, keep that same lift, take the arms up to the sky. And the whole torso goes to reach towards your left foot here. If you can, clasp around the back of the foot. Now I've got my right foot quite close to the left leg. It can be there, or you could kind of heel toe the right foot further out to provide more space for the torso to fold in. Wherever you are, do try to squeeze the right knee in towards the outer right shoulder, not that it needs to touch, but so that the knee stays pointed up towards the sky, not falling out to the side. Best we can. Everything is always to our ability, best we can, what feels right today. We can always add in those lines. Okay, once you're here, try wrapping the right arm to the front of the right shin, like low down to the front of the right shin. Bend at the elbow to try to reach back towards your outer right hip. And then the left hand comes around the back as well to either hold to your hand. I don't find my hands, but I do find like my pants or shirt. Occasionally I'll get maybe a little glimpse of fingertips touching. Try to push down through your right foot, and that little extra height underneath the hips if you're sitting up usually makes that clasp. Oh, look there, I got it. Something that I couldn't do flat down on the floor. So it's just finding a little extra support. All right, release the hands and come all the way up and stretch the right leg out. Again, that breath in between, just like in our balance poses, to kind of map back to even. And then we'll try it on the left side. So it's sole of the left foot. Again, it can be close to the leg, a little further out to provide more ease to pull the torso through. Lift both arms up to the sky, and then try to hinge from the hips to reach hold of the right foot. And the whole time I'm putting a pretty good deal of weight into the left foot. There's a tension there. And then wrap the left arm front and low down on the shin. Bend at the elbow and reach behind your back. Right hand goes behind the back. Try to find your shirt, pants, air, fingertips to hold on to. These sorts of poses is where I realize as much of that sort of somatic mapping that we do to find an evenness and a settling in the body, at the end of the day, we're not fully symmetrical. It's just one of the creative beauties of the human body. No big deal if it's a little different side to side. Unwrap and come all the way back up. Extend both legs straight out in front. And then I'm going to bend at the knees, soles of the feet. While you sit on the block, this is an awesome squat. Bring the heels close in. You've got your weight down on the block. Upper arm bones pull to the inner thighs, but don't dig so far down that you stay crunched forward. Try to sit up, up, up. Little quick hold there in the squat, and then you can walk the heels back out. All right, oftentimes I'm trying to mirror you guys, but I'm not going to do that here so that I get all of my rights and lefts right. So all of us, take your right heel and scoot it in underneath the left leg towards that outer left hip. And then we're going to try to cross the left heel up and over. Again, I'm still sitting on some height. You can choose to do the same thing or not. And this to me is those technical, like try to scunch around to get knee to knee as far down and forward as possible while keeping the heels tucked pretty close into the side. Nice strong outer hip stretch here. You can stay upright or fold more forward. If this is working pretty well in your body and you're still looking for a little bit more challenge, think heels further away from the hips while still having that squeeze and hug of the knees down and forward in direction. In Yin Yoga, this pose is performed on your back, holding on to the front of your feet. We call it shoelace pose. So if you're familiar with that, sort of mapping in your mind the feeling and the stronger seat. And then we'll come back upright, lean all the way back so that you can extract the legs. There's two sides. Send your left heel first towards the outer right hip. This is usually the easier one to get into place. And then we're stepping the other foot over. You might be used to seeing this in a twist, where we're taking it a little different. It's heel to the opposite hip, trying to squeeze, squish around. Not super comfy, but getting those thighs in. Height to support, keeping that strong, steady hold in. Again, heels close in, or you can start to scooch the heels a little bit further away as long as knees and thighs stay together. Stay upright or fold over. And take your way up, safely unwrap. One more time in your yogi squat. Continue to use the support, or you can take your seat off of the support and be in your full yogi squat. Feet flat on the ground. And then take your seat again and stretch your legs out. Give it a little pat. Okay. I'm going to come away from my yoga block for this last, and I'm going to offer two options. So the first option is to stay upright, and it's fire log pose. I'll walk us through this a little bit. It's quite intense. If there's even a little bit going on for you and hips and knees that you want to be a little more cautious of, lie down on your back and do this great figure four shape. Okay. I trust that you know the figure four shape because we do that in most classes. Fire log, not so much. So it starts out a little like we did before, and then we're going to take the right heel in, but instead of going all the way to the outer sit bone, we keep the heel more forward so that you're trying to form a line that goes straight across with the mat edge that you're looking at. Line up your lower calf. And then you take the left leg on top, ankle at the knee. I start with all of the lines just as I want them, but with the left seat way off the mat. And then to get the left seat down, I'm going to lift both sides of myself up and slowly, slowly, slowly allow the left thigh to come down. If you're like me, those things don't touch. It's a lot to ask, and you could slide the support that you had right in between. Stay upright. Or like we did a moment before in those cow face legs, you can come forward. And you'll probably notice forward gives a little more intensity. Up, closer to the glutes at the outer hip. Soften the breath. And again, just as carefully bringing yourself out of this pose, I like to lean over towards that same side to stretch the legs out. Nice and safe to release the knees. Of course, we've got two sides here as well, so then I'm going to cross left leg on bottom first, lining the shin as parallel as possible to the edge of the mat you're looking at. Lean the weight over towards the left side to make it possible to stack the right ankle. And again, like this is the pose, so your coming down might be a lot of space in between the knee and ankle, and you're just holding where works. Again, arm balance there for a moment. Press down through the fingertips. Try to slide your butt back a little bit. Sometimes that greater space allows for a little bit of a change. And then rather than having to hold the space with the air, maybe slide your block back there. Lean forward again if it works, or stay upright. Slowly come out of your pose. Again, maybe leaning over to the first side to most safely extract the legs. Straight out in front, a little wiggle. Maybe a heavy fold over. Lower down onto your back and pull your knees into your chest. Okay, happy baby is very much like the squat, but in a different orientation. Take the knees wide, arms to the inside of your legs, but I'm holding the outside of the feet. Press your feet up to the sky, pull the hands down towards the floor. And then release, give yourself one more little squeeze. Here, any unwinding movement that you'd like. A little supine twist, windshield wipers in the legs, anything that's gonna help you. And then settle, perhaps in the Shavasana on your back. Feel free to lie on your side or come back to a seated position for these final 2 minutes together. Stillness. Using that idea of mapping through the body, really taking notice of breath and connection today. Do that here as well in the rest. Stay here in the stillness and rest for 4 more rounds of breath. That counting of the breath, reawakening you to this day. If you're not already upright, take your time to come to a seated position. In that seated position, palms together, thumbs to the sternum. It's a way of offering ourselves gratitude, each other gratitude, and certainly thanks for the practice. We'll close in the sound of Om that links this time into the next time. As ever, sing along, listen, or tune it out. Empty out the breath. Take a deep breath in. Namaste.